We come now to our next to last system here, Christianity. And again, there's a lot of similarity between Christianity and Judaism. In fact, Christianity claims that it is the finishing or the completion of Judaism, that Judaism being true, though is not complete, but is completed in Jesus Christ. The main claim, the core claim of Christianity is this, that 2,000 years ago, God the Son became a man, the person Jesus, and dwelt among us, and by means of his death and resurrection, he has come to save the entire world. That is the basic claim of Christianity, that Jesus was none other than the eternal Son of God, or God the Son. By calling him Son of God, many times people misunderstand that, and they think that he's less than God. Christianity does not believe that. He believes he's the Son. He's in subjection or obedience to the Father, but he is as much God as the Father himself is God. The basic major piece of evidence to support that, according to Christianity, is going to be the resurrection. If the resurrection is true and Christ rose from the dead and was radically transformed into being more powerful and more splendid than anything ever known or that anything humans could produce, then it supports his claim that he is truly God the Son. Houston Smith does a very unusual thing in his book, in that basically he says the disciples after the resurrection came to understand him as being God the Son, although there are some developments in the Gospels that would lead them there. That's interesting, because if you look more closely at the Gospels, you're going to see many ways in which Jesus made those claims himself, and then the logic goes, if he rose from the dead, then he backed up those claims. But again, so much of Christianity, whether it's true or not, is going to be supported by those who claim to have been eyewitnesses of the resurrection. Although Houston Smith says that there were a dozen or so that claim they were transformed after meeting the resurrected Christ, Paul in 1 Corinthians 15 says there were at least 500 men. There may have been women and children as well. Then you're up to anywhere between 1,500 to 2,000, maybe more people. But anyway, Paul, if you look very closely at that link, at the bottom of the assignment page, that goes into more detail about that. So it all depends upon the credibility of those eyewitnesses. The fact that they were Jews, that they suffered for their claims that Jesus rose from the dead. The fact that the women are not listed in the official documents, but they are listed in the supposed historical accounts of the resurrection. All of these are very important pieces of evidence to support the claims of those early Christians. All right, so that's more fleshed out in that link at the bottom of the page. The challenges are basically one, the document challenge. Most believe that the documents were written within 50 years of the event. Now, some are going to say, well, 50 years is a long time. Well, in another 2 years, I will be able to tell you exactly where I was. 50 years to the day, November 22nd, 1963, and that was the assassination of John F. Kennedy. So the documents are not written beyond 50 years, except for probably Revelation, but the primary historical accounts, or those who claim to be historical accounts, may have been written within a few years to 50 years after the event. So there's a historical document challenge. Also, did Christ ever really exist? That is dealt with not only in the link, but also Houston Smith. Houston Smith goes, that's basically been scuttled, but you have Christopher Hitchens today trying to resurrect that challenge. There's a challenge from evil suffering. That is a particular challenge to Christianity. If Jesus is truly God the Son, then God is love, and that is a claim about Christianity. Well, if God is love, then why does he allow so much evil and suffering in the world, especially towards those who are innocent, especially children? Why would he allow them to suffer? The last is the mythological challenge. Many claim that Christianity is no more than just a myth, like the dying and rising gods of these other ancient pagan religions. Again, C.S. Lewis and J.R. Tolkien, Lord of the Rings, are huge in this discussion, and you can see how they respond to that in that link at the bottom of the page. But if you're doing the 5-page paper, these are the kinds of areas you will need to address, both in the strengths and evidences to support Christianity, and also the challenges that would need to be addressed.